A sword will pierce through your own soul also, that the thoughts of many hearts may be revealed.
My wife's purification offerings, Rabbi. I have come now to redeem the firstborn son of his mother, as commanded in the Torah.
The redemption price has now been received and accepted in place of the child.
Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who sanctifies us with thy commandments, and has commanded us about the ransom of the firstborn son.
What an encounter that day in the temple. Neither Joseph nor I knew quite how to take the words of the old man. Little did we know that the best and the worst were yet to come. The next decade proved quite tumultuous. Magnificent visitors arrived one day, to our utter surprise, when Jesus was a mere toddler. They spoke of a Jew in their country's history, a famous man who served their kings with wisdom and honor and saved their ancestors. They said he had introduced them to the Hebrew scriptures of old. I knew right away who they meant. God had surely used Daniel in powerful ways in that foreign land. Still, their visit to our lowly home was such a shock. The Magi said they had been looking for Daniel's king. They had been watching for the signs and counting the years. They saw his star. They knew he was here, because of Daniel's prophecy and the words of the Transjordian seer from ancient times, all of which were recorded in our scriptures. They followed his star all the way from the east, bringing elaborate gifts to pay homage to Daniel's new king. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh, gifts we were not able to afford, but would need more than we realized. A few days later, we found out why.
Mary, wake up! Hurry! We must go now!
Joseph, what's wrong?
The angel, Mary! We must go right away!
After the angel's warning, my husband insisted we grab everything we could find in an instant. Thank God for the Magi's gifts. Otherwise, we might not make it to Egypt. But as always, Adonai, our God, took care of every detail. We later learned of the terror inflicted on innocent babes from wicked King Herod that dreadful night. Hearing their screams in the distance caused me to hold my little one tightly as we fled for his life, thanking God for divine protection. I wasn't happy in Egypt at all. I rejoiced when Joseph said Herod was dead and we could go home. Home. The word thrilled me. Back to family, back to our people and our ways, back to our house in Nazareth, the one Joseph had built. Joseph was such a good father. He and I trained young Jesus in the Torah, teaching him from the time he could form sentences to quote the sacred Hebrew scriptures. Joseph used every opportunity daily to quiz Jesus. The task wasn't hard at all because of Jesus' deep passion for his Father's words.
Now Jesus, our beloved Shema.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord of God, the Lord is one.
And the Eshet Chayil, our ode to women.
A woman of valor, who can find? She is far more precious than jewels. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil in all the days of her life.
His bar mitzvah was still a few months away, but we knew he was ready. 3 times each year, we loaded up and made the trek to Jerusalem to celebrate God's pilgrimage feast. I'll never forget that one. As a young mother, my greatest fear hit me, and it hit me hard. We were already traveling home. Joseph rode with some of the men, and I with the ladies. I thought Jesus was with Joseph, now that he was 12. Joseph must have thought he rode with me. Imagine our utter horror when we realized Jesus was missing. We had lost the Son of God. After the heart-wrenching trip back to Jerusalem to find our son, Joseph and I were amazed to discover him surrounded by noted scholars and rabbis, among them Nicodemus and Joseph of Ramah.
Now, what would you say is the meaning of this passage from the Torah? These are the commandments, the statutes and the judgments, which the Lord your God has commanded to teach you, that you may observe them in the land which you are crossing over to possess, and that you may fear the Lord your God, to keep all of his statutes and his commandments, which I command you, you and your son and your grandson, all the days of your life, and that your days may be prolonged. Therefore hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your strength.
There is but one God, and besides him there is no other. Loving him with all that is within us, and loving our neighbors as ourselves, means more than all burnt offerings and sacrifices in our law. God, our Heavenly Father, set these commandments before us in order to bless us and to give us a good life here. He desires that we show his love and goodness to others, as they see how our God blesses us. It's been God's desire all along that we are all blessed, and it's his desire that we love him from a true and sincere heart, resulting in our obedience to his commandments. Thus, our beloved Shema.
Joseph of Ramah, how do you think he can know so much? He has no formal schooling in the Torah as we do.
Nicodemus, it is evident that he has studied well, certainly a testament to his parents. They have prepared him well for his bar mitzvah.
Son, why have you done this to us? Look, your father and I have sought you anxiously.
Why did you seek me? Did you not know that I must be about my Father's business? Noted scholars, honored rabbis, I must go now. Thank you for your time. May Adonai bless his people with peace. Shalom.
My son's rebuke stung me. I knew he meant it in the right way, but as his mother, it was still hard to hear from my boy. Yet, it reminded me who his father truly was. I realized that day that my boy was now a man, God's man, a man doing his father's work, and I knew I had to release him to his destiny. Joseph passed on the skill of carpentry to Jesus, while I was busy raising his siblings. Yes, they had started coming, and we had a house full in just a few short years. We were a lively bunch. At the end of a tiring day, Joseph would tumble around with our brood, roughhousing, you might call it. It filled our house with laughter. Oh, there was typical sibling rivalry, especially toward Jesus. But we got through that.
A woman full of valor, who can find? She is far more precious than jewels. The heart of her husband does safely trust in her, and he shall have no lack of gain.
My favorite of all were the ancient blessings spoken over the children.
Gather, my sons. May God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh. Come, my daughters. May God make you like Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, who built the house of Israel.
See what I mean? How wonderful that our children knew they were blessed by Adonai and were reminded of it every week. A short time later, I suffered the loss of my best friend and faithful husband. As a Jewish woman, along with several children to raise, I knew my future was bleak. But my Jesus, the one I cradled many years earlier, would now care for me and his siblings. As the eldest son, he became the head of our home, working faithfully in Joseph's shop and providing for our every need. Until that dreaded day came.